You damn player haters never wanna see me blow. Flamboyant entertainment, CEO. Yo, the spotlight is mine, it ain't his no more. When Lee come home, niggas can't.
Alright. What y'all watching? What's good, everybody? What we got on the tube here? Almost tripped on that cord trying to see what y'all doing. Yo, it's Aquarian OG, and we chilling. We're about to be watching the top 15 most dangerous theme parks. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell is people still going to these things if they ain't? I know you've seen this on the news. I know this has been on the news local. That somebody know. The workers, the news, the locals. Ain't nobody telling them that these things is deadly. The most dangerous theme parks? What is at these theme parks that makes the whole damn park dangerous? The whole damn park? Anyway, that was my quick thought on this. When I see this video, bing, I'm Aquarian OG. Run them likes up, please, because I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm gonna move this blade out of my way. I'm working on a project here. I got a blade down here. I paint models and stuff like that. So my workstation right here. Stream station. I'm normally on Twitch or YouTube. Actually, I stream more on YouTube than I do on Twitch. But I want to pick up the action. I gotta get back on the ball. You know, I've been kind of busy on the side building these things up, doing grown man stuff, trying not to need a corporation to tell me when you need me to come to work. You know, I'm on that independent tip along with y'all. And millennials ain't the only ones making moves, players. All right. So, yeah, run them subs up, run them likes up. I want to get this channel to 100 so I can at least put my damn name on it. Come on. I'm at 85. 15 more. Was it 15 more? Something like that. Yeah, 15 more. No, I think I'm at 86, actually. But, yeah, I want to look at this video and be like, remember when I was in the 80s? Y'all killed it. Y'all killed it. Yo, I got a special treat that I'm going to probably shoot. I might shoot it tonight. I might shoot it tomorrow. But I've been real hesitant on it. Only because it's been on TV already. And I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. And it was kind of weird having people just pop up and be like, hey, I saw you. And I'm like, yeah. You know, because I'm low-key than a motherfucker. Introverted and low-key. I'm chilling. You ask me what I'm doing, I'm chilling. Because that's literally what I'm chilling. I might have some things on my mind, but I'm still chilling. So, yeah, that was kind of weird getting used to that. Why the phone want to go off as soon as you turn the camera and the mic on? I don't know a streamer or a YouTuber that don't have that problem. Somebody always hit you up when you're doing this. But yeah, so once upon a time, way back down the line, I was on the Maury Povich show. So I got that footage. I can tell y'all the backstage story on how that happened, what I saw, the whole experience. Because I know a lot of people, I've been seeing it on TikTok a lot. People wondering if Maury Povich is real. I got an answer for you. I was on the show. I got the show for you. I got the show and the answer and a week's worth of backstage stories to tell. All right, let's get to the top 15 most dangerous theme parks. Again, why? Who the hell is still going on these rides? As I look at this picture, I'm kind of answering my own question. Because I don't see no blackheads up in there. I don't know what everybody else is in the back behind this camera, but so far, I can see the light. we'll yeah, let's go.
Poor designs, dangerous malfunctions, freak accidents, and human error. There are approximately 30,000 theme park-related injuries worldwide each year.
Whoa! So early? Hold the phone. Did that? What? Yo, I got to see that shit. Hey, he got me cussing. I was trying not to cuss today. I was like, what?
1,000 theme park-related injuries worldwide each year. Fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside at all times, because it's time to take a look at the top 15 most dangerous theme parks.
I really want to go and look
world.
at that again. That's
Number 15, Schlitterbahn Water Park, Kansas City.
Schlitterbahn Water
There's
Park.
nothing quite like visiting a water park on a
Schlitterbahn?
hot summer's day, but with thousands of people crammed into pools, they can soon be.
By the way, my absolute worst hell no, hard hell no, is water slides. Hard hell no. So I went on a water slide one time and my black ass bounced up off of that. No, I ain't been on one since. I don't, hell no.
Become some of the most dangerous visitor attractions. As with other leisure venues, each one has to pull out all of the stops to offer the most exciting rides, and sometimes they push the
Guarantee
boundaries
you
way
somebody
too
go
far.
flying.
That's exactly what happened at the
This shit made me
Schlitterbahn Water
nervous.
Park in Kansas City, which opened in July 2009. With 2 large pools and 14 water slides, the selling point was a slide called
What makes Schlitterbahn a good name for it? What is going on in Kansas City that the stuff is named Schlitterbahn? That sounds like a drink and a strain.
which became the tallest and fastest water slide in the world. At almost
This won't get you lit. This will
169
get you
feet high,
schlit.
the starting point of the slide was a higher elevation than the Niagara
Hell
Falls.
no.
And riders would sit on a 3-person raft, which reached speeds of up to 65 miles an hour.
3 people?
Tragically,
65?
it turns out that the slide
65 miles an hour on a raft. Oh shit! There's a brother on there.
was just as dangerous as it sounds, and in 2016 a young boy was decapitated when the raft lifted up and collided with part of the support structure. The investigation that followed found several other rides had serious safety issues too, so the park was closed before the beginning of the 2018 season and never reopened, and remains proof that bigger and faster doesn't always mean better.
Look at that mom. Hell to the
Number 14, Dream World Amusement Park, Queensland,
Dream World,
Australia.
put your ass to sleep.
After first opening in 1981 on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, the Dream
Australia?
World Amusement Park has become the largest of its type in the country.
Damn,
With
son.
8 different themed lands,
Actually
including
look
the
pretty
Main
fun
Street,
right there, but,
Ocean Parade, Whitewater World, and Gold Rush Country. It has more than 45 different rides, which include 4 roller coasters and plans to build more to keep it competitive with the top parks around the world. Things haven't been perfect for the park over the years, though, and there have been several safety
It's making me
problems.
anxious.
The most tragic of these took place in 2016, when 2 rafts of the Thunder River Rapids ride collided, which resulted in 4 people becoming trapped in the ride's machinery and dying as a result.
Ooh.
In the wake of this, the theme park remained closed for a month to assess the safety of the other rides, and when it reopened, all of the thrill rides were kept shut. They have since begun operation once more following a full safety audit, but the River Rapids ride has been demolished and replaced with other attractions. As recently as
That's
2020,
wild,
a
yo.
few more of the longest standing rides were closed too, following maintenance. It was found that they had structural issues that could have potentially been a threat to life if they were allowed to continue operating. It's a challenge every theme park faces, that as machinery gets older, it becomes more unreliable and doesn't conform to modern safety standards. And luckily now, because of issues in the past, the park management appears to be taking a more proactive approach to prevent any future disasters.
Enough people got hurt. That's what happened.
Number 13,
Hit him in the
Walt
pocket.
Disney World, Florida. It's undoubtedly
Oh,
the
really?
most famous collection of theme parks in the world, and is
Hey,
arguably
y'all better look at
responsible
this.
for showing just how creative and imaginative the venues can be. But despite this, the company's reputation for being family-friendly, the Walt Disney World in Florida
Family
has suffered
deadly.
more than its fair share of accidents. A lot of this is simply down to the fact that it's the most visited vacation resort on Earth, with more than 58 million visitors in a normal year. And with so many people passing through, you'd statistically expect a certain number to experience difficulties. Because Florida has so many amusement parks, operators are required to submit.
Does anybody get the Chippendale songs in their head? Like, if you knew it from back in the day, anybody, every time you see Chippendale, I'm Chip, I'm Dale, and that song comes in? It must be just me, I don't know.
Details of any incident that take place to the
Like if it's a yes.
authorities, and this data can be illuminating to show just how often something untoward might happen. It was revealed in 1985, for example, that at least 100 lawsuits are filed against Disney each year for incidents in the park, and this number is believed to have risen substantially since then. Of all the rides that Disney operates, Mission Space at Epcot has by far caused the most issues. Between 2005 and 2006, paramedics responded to 194 incidents where riders had become ill, and there have been several deaths linked with the ride, although in each case the victim had a pre-existing medical condition. Other incidents across Disney World have included malfunctioning safety equipment, violent behavior by some visitors, and people suffering injuries after sneaking into areas they shouldn't have been. Next time you're there, if you ever wonder why security can be so strict, it's often purely to prevent any further injuries.
Because people be up in there fighting.
It's an inevitability when you're running such a large park. The company definitely tries its best to reduce accidents as much as reasonably possible.
That is a really sharp picture. Look how crisp it is around Mickey's ears. That's a really sharp picture. That's like, what camera did they? Damn. That is a really good picture. All right.
Possible. Number 12, Kankaria Adventure Park, India.
Kankaria?
The man-made Kankaria Lake was built in 1451 in Ahmedabad in India, and since then has always been a popular attraction for locals and visitors alike. It has a thriving lakefront with a wide range of stores and other amenities, and in 2014 a Dutch company installed 5 new rides to form an amusement park and capitalize on the large number of visitors. These rides were fairly big.
You see how that it was rickety with it? It was. Nah. Them supports don't look like they doing a whole lot of nada.
Basic in design, and by no means as complex as you'd find elsewhere in the world, but they offered guests an opportunity for a thrilling experience in the beautiful surroundings of the lake. The rides included a boomerang roller coaster, a flipping arm, a merry-go-round, and the torching tower, but it was the swinging disco pendulum that would lead to questions being asked about the safety of any of them. Footage recorded in July of 2019 shows just how terribly wrong things can go when rides aren't properly maintained. While an operator...
Hold on. This bad boy right here. Whew. Man. Can you imagine being the person that was in the seat that went right at the support beam?
And returning back to a stationary position, the entire arm of the ride snapped. With nothing to hold them in the air, the passengers on the seated end fell more than 20 feet to the ground.
Damn, nothing to hold them. Damn. That's crazy, yo.
Which resulted in 2 fatalities and 29 people being seriously injured. It was one of the most horrific ride-related incidents in recent times, and something that's made all the more tragic by the fact that it would have been completely preventable with more frequent checks by engineers.
Damn!
Number 11, Rye Playland, New York. Anyone who has lived in New York will probably know about the Rye Playland, especially as the 280-acre theme park has been.
And that was number 11. Damn. Where are we at? 10? You say this was 10? That was number 11. Damn.
Been in continuous operation since its first opened in 1928. It has, of course, developed substantially since its first welcomed visitors, and now boasts a collection of 5 roller coasters and 14 other thrill
I do not like heights.
Including an original
I like roller coasters, but I don't like heights.
Grand Carousel. There's also a dedicated kids' land, a casino, and the park hosts regular performances and events. But while it's meant to be a place where the whole family can enjoy themselves, it's also been the site of several tragedies over the years. There have,
You
for
made the
example,
list.
been 2 deaths on the Mine Scrambler ride, a fatality on Ye Old Mill boat ride, a mechanical failure on the Wild Mouse roller coaster that led to 6 people being taken to the hospital, and several other incidents related to people behaving irresponsibly.
The Wild Mouse, that sounds familiar. Sounds like something I've been on when I was young. Where did they say this ride was? It is hot to death up in here. I got the fan turned off so it ain't getting picked up by the mic, but hey, I suffered through it. Hey, we do it for the squad.
On site.
Wild
Again, part of
Mouse.
the danger is the fact that many of the rides are very old and require far more maintenance due to the fact that they weren't originally built to modern-day safety requirements. And while the park management has certainly done well to invest huge sums to
Koala Park.
prioritize safety,
That's from
there's
Australia.
sometimes very little they can do to prevent occasional accidents. In a sign of how well the upgrades have worked, there hasn't been a fatality in the park for more than 13 years, so it's definitely safer now than it's ever been before. Number 10.
13
Fort
years
Fun,
ago was our
Germany.
last incident. That is
Germany's
not a good record.
Fort Fun, which is close to Bestwig Wasserfall in the North Rhine-Westphalia region, has been one of the most popular
Look at
theme
that bad
parks
boy.
in the country since opening in 1972.
Throw your
It
neck
began
all
as a
over the
park
place.
full of mountain-style rides, such as a toboggan run and ski slopes. But to continually attract visitors, investment was made to build roller coasters and other rides too. Despite having changed owners a number of times over the years, Fort Fun remains one of the top attractions in the area and welcomes millions of visitors each year. Most experience a great day out with a variety of rides to cater to all tastes, but as with most busy parks, the safety record isn't exactly spotless. There have been 3 major incidents in the past 20 years, which included a huge fire in 2015 that completely destroyed a show set, an accident on the summer sledding ride in 2000 that left a 7-year-old boy with severe life-changing injuries, and in 2017 a horrific accident on the Trapper Slider ride that resulted in a young boy losing parts of his leg. After each of these events, investigations found ways to improve safety.
Parts. How many parts?
Around the park, but due to the nature of the rides, it's impossible to remove every element of risk entirely. Number 9. California's Great America. California's Great America is one of the most famous theme parks in the U.S., but it has also proved to be one of the most dangerous. It opened in 1976 as Marriott's Great America, but due to escalating costs and safety concerns, has had a number of different owners since then. Set across a 100-acre site, the park has 52 main attractions, 9 of which are the roller coasters, and 2 of which are water rides. One coaster in particular, the Gold Striker, is regarded as one of the best wooden roller coasters in the world, and has won a number of awards since it was revealed in 2013. If you've never been to California, but this park seems familiar, it's possibly because it was a location for Beverly Hills Cop 3 that was released in 1994. But even Axel Foley couldn't have foreseen some of the dangers within the park. Since 1980, there have been 6 deaths on
I was going to say something about something else, and then I realized he's just said something else. So, Beverly Hills Cop was in 83, and this thing that already took 6 lives by 1980? That explained that part in the movie. See, that goes to tell you, movies be telling a whole lot of truth hidden into them scenes. 1980 took 6 deaths.
site, most of which have been the result of guests or staff failing to follow the rules. The most dangerous ride of all is called the Flight Deck, which is a steel inverted coaster that reached speeds of up to 50 miles an hour, with cars being suspended under the tracks. Riders' legs dangle free beneath them, and on 2 occasions someone has entered a restricted area beneath the ride and been struck on the head by a passing train. In both cases, this was fatal and also caused severe injuries to people on the ride. Number 8. Gillian's Wonderland Pier, New Jersey. Located on the boardwalk along the New Jersey shore, Gillian's Wonderland Pier has been entertaining the local community for more than 90 years, having first opened its doors in 1929.
90
There are
years of
32
being in the
rides,
roller coaster
including one
business.
roller coaster and one log flume, and it's well known for having one of the largest Ferris wheels on the East Coast, which
I didn't even
towers over
realize
the
roller
rest of the
coasters
park
were
at
around that long.
144 feet tall. No childhood in New Jersey would be complete without regular trips to the Wonderland Pier, but locals definitely know how to keep their wits about them, because in recent years there have been a number of accidents as a result of poor maintenance of the rides that in some cases are many decades old. In 1999, for example, 2 people
That's them
died
old
after
theme
a
parks.
car on the Wild Wonder roller coaster lost traction as it was going up a steep slope.
Oh.
It wasn't able to reach the top, meaning it slid back down and collided with the other car behind it. 8 years later, there was another collision, this time on the Canyon Falls log flume ride, which caused 5 significant injuries. While in 2013, there was a terrible accident when a ride began with a 4-year-old still stood on the platform, and the injury she sustained meant a lengthy stay in hospital. Investigations have found that accidents at Gillian's Wonderland were often a combination of poor maintenance and operator error, so the company has embarked on a huge retraining effort to ensure that the chances of something happening again are greatly reduced.
Alien abduction. I remember those rides. That alien abduction ride is that one where it goes fast, you stick to the wall. I remember that.
Number 7. Cedar Point, Ohio.
Not Cedar Point. I've ridden everything at Cedar Point. What the hell was I riding? Well, there goes that. Cedar Point. And it's low on the list, too. Oh. That's the Raptor right there. Who got hurt on the Raptor?
Cedar Point on Lake Erie in Sandusky, Ohio, is the second oldest continuously running amusement park in the U.S. It opened in 1870
did not know that.
and in normal years welcomes in excess of 3 million visitors. It's the flagship park of Cedar Fair, which owns and operates others around the country. It features one of the highest numbers of rides of any park in the world. In fact, it's simply impossible to experience each of the 71 rides, which includes 17 roller coasters in one day. So to take in all that's on offer usually requires an extended visit. Having been open for so long and being so busy, especially during peak times, it's almost amazing there haven't been more incidents at Cedar Point than there have been. According to official records, there's only been one death, which was the result of a visitor breaking into a restricted area beneath a roller coaster.
I remember that.
Fatalities are extremely rare. There have been a number of cases where people have been seriously injured. These range from boats on the river rapids flipping.
I will tell you this. If you get on that giant wooden roller coaster, what is it called? Blue Streak or something like that? You will pull a muscle. That ride hurts. That ride does hurt. I done got off of that thing with a back pain, man, a few times. I don't know why I got back on it. Damn. I'm one of them people that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Some I'm up there. Damn. Oh, well. Ain't nothing I can do about it now. That was years and years and years ago. I grew up. I'm not a Toys R Us kid. Toys R Us closed, too.
Over and trapping people underwater, to rides breaking and stranding passengers,
Wicked Twister,
cable snapping, and train collisions on some of the coasters. Most of these, though, have been blamed on operator error as opposed to anything being inherently wrong with the rides themselves.
What was that? Number 7? Yep.
Alton
number
Towers,
7.
UK.
Well, I guess 7's a lucky number.
The largest and second most popular theme park in the UK. Built on a country estate in 1860, but only adding rides as recently as 1980, it has just over 2 million visitors each year.
What is with 1980?
Targeted at various age groups. It's a place where you can find gentle, calming experiences, but also some of the most extreme thrill rides in the world. There are 40 attractions in total, including 10 roller coasters and 3 water rides, and even has a roller coaster restaurant where food is delivered along a loop-de-loop from the kitchen. The owners of the park are constantly innovating.
Leave it to Australia to come up with something like that. I'll have this burger to go, please. Can you put that upside down? I like my top bun on the bottom, so when it's right side up when I bite into it.
And coming up with unique concepts, and this means there are park ride designs you won't find anywhere else. This, of course, makes the park one of a kind, but also means some of the ideas are untested and have been known to lead to some unfortunate accidents. No one is known to have died as a result of any of the rides at the park, but there have been several life-changing events. In 2006, the runway mine train suffered a malfunction that caused a crash and meant 6 people were taken to hospital. And the Skyride gondola that takes people to different stations around the park is notorious for failing during high winds and hot temperatures. The worst.
Why is people getting on a gondola suspended above air in high wind? My next video gonna be, what does a gondola look like in high winds? What the hell? Who's the fucking Australians? That's a good idea, mate. Nice and dangerous. Fall down into the crocs. That's a terrible Australian accent.
Accident of all happened in 2015, though, when a malfunction on the Smiler roller coaster caused 2 cars to collide at high speed.
I'm sure they got bad American accents
because of the injuries, and despite claiming it.
Speaking of which, sorry to interrupt, but I just had this thought. Let me get this out real quick. I just learned that British people have an American accent, just like Americans have a British accent. You know, one that we do like on the side. I know Australians. Which one do y'all got? Because y'all kind of in the middle of, you could do some American and you could do some British. You probably nail the British so easy, it's not even fun. You probably do some of us. What do y'all do? Australians and doing Africans. Wouldn't that be some shit?
Happened as a result of operator error. Alton Towers was found to be at fault for not having adequate mechanisms in place to prevent this from occurring, and was given an almost $10 million fine.
Ooh.
Number 5, Mount Olympus Water and Theme Park, Wisconsin.
10 mils.
Located in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, the Mount Olympus Water and Theme Park is an ancient Greece themed park where you're able to experience exhilarating.
I used to have people that always want to drag me up to there. I never went, but people always wanted to take me up there. I'm like, I don't want to go that deep into Wisconsin. I ain't really trying to be that far north. Not in Wisconsin. Mount Olympus. I hear a lot of stuff about that park, but man, what is this? Number 5 on the list? I'm never going there.
Rides in the presence of the gods. There are 51 rides, including 5 roller coasters, 37 water slides, and 9 go-kart tracks, and a number of them have been designed to be unusual. Hades, for example, which is a wooden coaster, has much sharper drops and angles than you'd normally expect.
I'm not getting on no roller coaster called no damn Hades. When was that a good idea? I don't know how many people out there know what the Hades is, but you ain't trying to go there. Trust me. And you damn sure don't want to go there on no roller coaster. Take my word on it. Not from experience, but just from what I heard.
Fact, as often mentioned on coaster enthusiasts' bucket lists. The park opened in 1990 and has, of course, expanded significantly since then. But amazingly, there
tell me
weren't
somebody
any
didn't drown in
serious
the bucket.
accidents for the first 24 years of operations. Things unfortunately changed in 2014, though, which many people think is the result of the park's management pushing the ride designs further than they should in an attempt to attract more visitors. A malfunction in March of 2014 saw a lap.
Look at that. Death gets a hell no. All these rides up in this show breaking, and you up on there on that.
Bar on the Opa roller coaster failed to secure, and a 63-year-old man fell from the car 17 feet to the ground below. He was in a coma for 3 weeks, and while he fortunately recovered, the coaster was immediately shut for good. The pools have also been a subject of concern, particularly when they get crowded. And this almost led to the death of a young child in 2015, had it not been for the quick response by the lifeguards on duty. And there was another ride malfunction in July of
Hold on. Did you see how bouncy the back? Look at this.
2015, which came perilously below. He
Look
was
at
in
the
a
back of
coma
this.
for
Look at
3
this
weeks.
last car.
While he fortunately recovered, the coaster was immediately shut for good.
Look at this little boy here.
Pools have also been a subject
I'm pointing
of
at the
concern,
screen like you can see what I'm
particularly when
pointing
they
at.
get crowded, and this almost led to the death of a young child in 2015 had it not been for the quick
Watch this
response
car.
by the lifeguards on duty. And there was another ride malfunction in July of 2015, which came perilously close to severely hurting those that were on board at the time. Number 4, Expo Land, Japan. Expo Land.
Oh, I had to get the
Japan
Japanese in
opened
here.
1969 as a
Y'all
part of the
crazy
following
too.
year's International Expo, and would go on to be a popular amusement park for the next 3 decades. It has more than 40 rides, 8 of which were roller coasters, and countless other amenities on offer for guests. The park's ultimate downfall, however,
I
was
look like
of
the
its
corkscrew.
own doing. With tight profit margins, the management had cut down on the maintenance that was performed on rides. And when you're talking about roller coasters, a decision like this can quite easily have tragic consequences. And that's exactly what happened. In 2007, the park's stand-up roller coaster called Fuji Raijin 2 derailed. It instantly killed a 19-year-old who was on board and severely injured 19 others, with a total of 31 people being taken to hospital for treatment. Frighteningly, the cause was found to be a broken axle, and it was determined that none of the axles had been replaced for at least 15 years. With similar faults found on another of the coaster's trains, the park's reputation was in tatters, and the reduced visitor count when it finally reopened meant that it was closed for good just a couple of years later. Number 3.
Hold on. Did you hear that thing? It sounds like it got a problem. Ain't no roller coaster supposed to scream. The people's supposed to scream. Well, we don't want to see that. Let's skip this. All right. You hear this damn thing on this train?
It was determined that none of the axles had been replaced for at least
15 years.
With similar faults found on another
Listen
of
to-
the
listen.
coaster's trains, the park's reputation was in tatters, and the reduced visitor count when it finally reopened
Watch.
meant that it was closed for
You
good
hear
just
that?
a couple of years later. Number 3. M&D's Motherwell Theme Park, Scotland. Near to the city of Motherwell in Scotland, M&D's Motherwell Theme Park has 4 roller coasters, 2 water rides, and several other exhilarating attractions. It opened in 1996 and quickly became a family favorite for local communities, but the confidence in its safety has begun to wane in the past decade as a result of several incidents, most of which were entirely
Oh,
avoidable.
look at that sky.
Mechanical failures are surprisingly
Ooh,
common and
hands
have
to the
caused a
door.
number of instances where riders have been stranded for extended periods of time. Derailments have happened too, but the worst accidents have happened on the log flume ride. In 2013, a girl's leg became trapped between the boat and a barrier on the ride, which left her with life-changing injuries. And a couple of years later, there were 2 incidents in the same month whereby the boat slipped on the track. Number 2. Parc Asterix, France.
Hey. You see all that yellow? What the hell is that track doing? Like a damn mouse maze. Somebody just scribbled something down on some paper and said, let's build that.
Parc Asterix, based upon the famous comic book series by René Goscinny.
What is that? Oh, hell no. I gotta find out what cartoon that is. What the hell is that, dude?
Is the second biggest
thought
theme park
Popeye
in
was
France
kinda
with more
silly,
than 2
but
million
damn,
annual
yeah.
visitors in a normal year.
Eddie French?
Located in the Plailly region of northern France, it features 41 rides, which includes 7 roller coasters and 6 water
This
slides.
is like fun.
It opened in 1989.
But you on the
It was a
wrong
whirlwind
show.
Success. But with the opening of Disneyland Paris a few years later and just 12 miles away, visitor numbers were hit, and the park was forced to invest heavily in new attractions, at times to the detriment of the maintenance of its current machinery. The park management began to take risks they otherwise wouldn't have done, and this led to several unusual incidents. The first, in 2004, saw the rides continue to operate during a powerful storm and resulted in an 11-year-old boy being struck by lightning while in the queue for the Zeus Thunder ride. 2 years later,
Damn, he was in the queue for it. See, doing them roller coasters in them damn thunderstorms. You up that high on nothing but metal. What you think was gonna happen? I mean, for real.
Later, a young child died on the water ride after being sucked in by the pumps that are used to create a current in the artificial river.
Oh,
And this has tarnished the park's reputation to such an extent that after additional safety measures were incorporated, the entire ride was rebranded in an attempt to shake off any negative associations.
people ain't gonna forget that.
Number 1. New Jersey's Action Park.
Oh, I heard about
Virtually
this.
all of the world's theme parks try their hardest
I know
to
about
ensure
this
the
part.
safety of their guests. There's one that almost reveled in the fact that it was extremely
They got a
dangerous.
ride called
New
Tornado.
Jersey's Action Park
And a
became
rep to go
notorious
with
for
it.
the number of injuries and deaths that took place there.
The
And it's a
water
surprise
park?
it was able
Ooh-wee.
to operate for as long as it did.
For real
Originally
though.
opened in 1978, it was predominantly a water park and featured attractions such as a giant wave pool, alpine slides, and even a slide with a full 360-degree loop in it.
See how they came up off of that slide? She was airborne. She was up, feet kicking.
Originally opened in 1978, it was predominantly a
Coming
water
down the
park
big blue
and
one.
featured attractions
Right in the
such
middle.
as a giant wave pool, alpine slides, and even a slide with
She
a
gonna
full
be whoop.
360-degree
No,
loop
thank
in
you.
it. Between 1980 and 1990, there were 6 known fatalities to have occurred there, including 3 drowning in the tidal pool, an electrocution caused by faulty wiring in another pool, and several instances of ride malfunctions. It was also commonplace for guests to suffer from cuts, scrapes, bruises, and broken bones because of the lack of safety procedures, and this led to it being known as Accident Park, with it finally being forced to close in 1996 amidst countless lawsuits. Attempts were made to refurbish the park and its image so it could reopen in 2014, but it failed to attract the same level of visitors and went out of business just a few years later. Still, despite the danger, it remains a fond memory of the generation that grew up with it, and is a reminder to park operators around the world quite how badly things can go
They lied on that fond memory stuff.
if you don't prioritize guest safety. Watch our binge watching playlist if you'd like to watch
Fond memory. No, I remember that part. No, nothing fun about it. No, thank you. So, hey, if y'all still hanging out, I want to thank y'all for being up in here with me. I just stopped by to see what y'all was watching. This Aquarian OG. Y'all catch me on Twitter. On Twitch. Yeah, I stream on YouTube. Be dropping this on YouTube. Hey, we're gonna make it do what it do. Till next video, we're gonna be out of here. Deuces.